Hello there, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, the internet, and the like, and welcome back to Serious Sam 3, Jewel of the Nile. And where we had previously left off, which was a while ago, we had played together forever, and now we're going to do the final level of this DLC campaign, Born Again. And we start off inside a little temple, and there's a Syrian door back here. The door is indeed locked. Ergo, we should take the linear path and see where that takes us. There's not really much of anything interesting right here. There is a little bit of Egyptian text to the left of us, and you can pause the video and read that if you like, because I don't want this video to be over an hour long. I'm kind of hoping that that won't be the case, although I guess we'll see in the end. And as per usual, I did do a little bit of a test playthrough before I started recording this video. We got a bit of a weird water effect right here, but this pool is not entirely barren of anything, because if you swim down here, it's a secret minigun, and that minigun contains 50 extra bullets, so now we have 200. And because the minigun is a secret weapon only throughout this entire DLC campaign, we're going to try and make the best of it in this level. So once we step outside, it's very pretty, lots of canyons surrounding us. This is probably what the Sand Canyon level of Serious Sam the First Encounter should have looked like, but I digress. Anyway, we're gonna walk around this corner right now, and there's already gonna be a couple of enemies out in this direction towards a dam. First of all, there's that reptiloid over there, and there's also gonna be a bunch of skeletons. So, I'm gonna try and use the rocket launcher on them. Some of them take a few interesting routes to reach you, because some of them just choose not to notice you immediately. So sometimes you might occasionally get flanked, and that's not really good, because being flanked by clear skeletons is the last thing you need in this game. Clear skeletons, terrible, terrible enemies. There's also a bunch of rocketeers, but let's face it, they don't really contribute to much. They're just kind of here to die. So, hello gents, welcome to Die. I hope you are enjoying the positive reception I'm giving you, because it's all I've got left in my tiny little body of energy. So yeah, you know, just this is a pretty basic start right now. There's not really much going on, and once you turn this corner, there's gonna be, I think, one or two more reptiloids. There was one right there, of course. He didn't really amount to much, and yes, just as I suspected, there was indeed a third one. And I kind of forgot the fact that there were actually harpies around here, but again, since they take a bit of time to actually reach you, then they probably won't get a chance to deal very much damage, although I'm quite positive there's at least a couple more. Yeah, there's like one up there, and one right to the left of us near those palm trees. All pretty basic enemies. They throw a lot of harpies at you in this DLC, and I think that's just their way of sort of making up for the lack thereof in the main campaign, which I can sort of understand.
Got to find a way up and over the dam here.
It's impossible to climb these walls. Only way I can go from here is down, as usual.
There's got to be a way.
If there is, I'll find it. If not, it's gonna be an awfully short mission.
But, like, the harpies at the same time, they don't really do very much. They fly around. If they get close to you, they have a slight chance of actually hitting you, but to be honest, when I went back and, like, played a little bit of the first encounter, like, the classic games, I noticed that the harpies, they actually do get a lot of more hits on you. No coverall, man. Whenever, like, they get close. I mean, the projectiles they shoot aren't really that threatening at all, but I have been kicked a couple of times by harpies before in that game, and compared to this, they just hardly get the opportunity. And plus, they never really land on the ground, which is one thing that they do in Serious Sam Classic and Serious Sam HD, is that if you shoot them, I think, around the wings, then they sometimes have a chance to drop to the ground, and then they choose to chase after you from there. And that makes them slightly more terrifying, but they're still have the same amount of health, so you can easily dispose of them. And I apologize because I kind of burped right there. So we have to find a way over that dam, as the cutscene implied, or the dialogue, I guess. That wasn't really a cutscene. There's a few Nars over here, and there's also a bunch of clear skeletons. I'm probably just gonna go ahead and use the Devastator for this area, because mixed in with the clear skeletons are a bunch of bulls, and the Devastator is really good at taking care of bulls, because 2 shots, much like the rocket launcher or the double-barreled shotgun at close range, it disposes of them extremely easily, and should give you enough time to reload after you've fired enough shots. So that's the first wave of bulls, and then I believe there might be a few more. I guess I'll... Yeah, there's a few more. I'm just gonna stand back here for safety because I don't want this to go terribly wrong. So we're just going to patiently wait for the next bull to show up. Or the next couple of bulls, because it sounds like the rumbling has increased by its volume. Therefore, the amount of rumblings I'm hearing probably indicates the amount of bulls of which are going to try and buck me into the air. There's also a bit of armor back here. Not really a trap, not really a secret, it's just armor if you so desperately desire. You've probably also noticed too, there's like power-ups up on these rocks, and we can't exactly climb these rocks right now. If you couldn't guess, we're going to have a solution towards that little conundrum of ours in the near future, but for now, first of all, we have a couple more enemies to take care of. I'm gonna continue using the Devastator because there's a bunch of reptiloids, and reptiloids mean a business, and I think I'm just gonna go ahead and try using the Mutilator here because there's just a giant horde of these purple dudes. There's also a few clear skeletons behind them, but I'll deal with them when they come to me. For now, it's just kind of nice to actually use the Mutilator for once because it falls under the category of awesome but impractical in most cases because you can use them against like the giant hordes of Rocketeers, but to be honest, the Rocketeers aren't really that threatening to begin with. You could kill them with just about anything, even the sledgehammer, or the axe in this case, if you really wanted to. But I don't get the thing about the Syrian Mutilator. It just feels kind of unnecessary to be put in this game. I mean, it'd be kind of nice if they gave you more situations sort of like the sledgehammer, well, where you kind of had to use the Mutilator, but it's just, I don't really like it all that much. I don't find many practical uses for it personally. Except, of course, for taking out the Rocketeers, because when there's giant hordes of them, why would you waste ammunition to begin with? So, I suppose that's a fair point if you wanted to give credit where credit is due. You know, speaking of this level in particular, too, I did hold off on actually playing it for quite some time, because I figured, oh my god, it's gonna be so long, and I feel like I'm gonna do so horribly on it, but to be honest, I actually really enjoy this level. Like, this is probably... That's the wrong weapon. This is probably one of my favorite levels in the entire game, because I was kind of concerned that it would fall under the same category as where I would rate the levels of the Legend of the Beast DLC for Serious Sam HD, where basically those levels were, okay, the first one was acceptable, the second one I loved, and the third one I just totally despised because it just felt tedious. Not so much difficult as it was just totally monotonous. In this game, I think the third level, and the final level, of course, it being, is very passable. I'd say it's one of my favorite levels in the entire game because I feel as though it just does a bunch of things right. Because there's no, like, super long path. The hordes of enemies are rather manageable. It's just overall a pleasant experience for me, and I don't really know how else I could sum it up. I guess you'll just sort of see when this playthrough goes through. I'm just kind of hoping that this recording won't go horrible, and I don't really want audio issues, so chances are there might be the possibility that I'll have to record this level again. So if you walk into this little shed right here, there's another keycard, because keycards, you always have to rely on keycards in this game. And there's also, yeah, right, there's a bunch of buildings around here which contain plenty of different types of ammunition. There's gonna be lots of laser gun and sniper rifle ammunition. They just throw so much of that at you in these levels, sort of like the Harpies, where I was explaining their situation. There's another rifle right there, tons of ammunition, and a jetpack. Now, the jetpack, it works a little bit differently in contrast to the other jetpack from like the final level in the main campaign. So when you sprint and you jump with the jetpack, you're immediately locked out of sprinting mode. However, this jetpack allows you to fly quite a lot. I think it works pretty much on the same manner as the other jetpack does, and you could basically just fly for quite a long time. There is a little meter in the bottom left corner that indicates how much boost you have before the jetpack sort of runs out, but I never really run into that issue, so using the jetpack allows you to reach these new vantage points right here. Obviously, there are a few limitations. I can't really actually fly any higher than this for now, because otherwise I would be considered outside of the level, and the game would get a little bit mad at me for pulling off those kinds of shenanigans. But as you can see, there's already a couple of enemies being spawned out there, mostly harpies. There's like a couple of reptiloids as well, so I'm going to be standing up here for a while to take care of most of these harpies. And I might run back and pick up some more sniper rifle ammunition if there is any remaining. But for now, I'm going to use this point to my advantage to take care of these unaware harpies. Although some of them might notice me as soon as I shoot their sisters, but honestly, it doesn't really matter. They're too far away to actually make a difference. And, okay, there you are. You were sort of blending in with the background of the canyon, but I eventually saw through disguise. It was a little clever trick, I'll give you that. You, however, you're making yourself a little more glaringly obvious. I'm not going to waste any of my minigun ammunition just yet. I have plans for that minigun ammunition, and you will see what those are when the time comes. But for now, I think I'm gonna go ahead and just continue to snipe off at some of these enemies using the assault rifle. And you know, I'm not entirely dependent on getting sniper rifle ammunition at the Mo, so I'll probably just hold off on doing that for now. But first of all, I'm just gonna check this area to see if there's anything precious around here, because I know there are a few arachnoids, miniature ones, up on the cliffs, but they don't really pose much of a threat. Like, there's one out there, but when you're at a certain distance, or if you're flying with the jetpack, they just flat out refuse to attack you. I'm not really sure why the arachnoids behave this way, but that's just how they are. So this guy doesn't really care about the fact that I'm murdering him right now. Because he was pelted with so many bullets, he no longer has the capacity to think because he is dead. And that's a little bit brutal, isn't it? A little bit brutal. And I don't think there's really anything else to consider picking up. Oh, there's a reptiloid over the cliff. Just give me a sec, I have to actually reach him first, because the jetpack gets a little bit wonky in some areas, such as right here. You just have to keep holding down the jump key in order to reach the area over this cliff. Still a bunch more of you guys up above. That energy ball flew in a bit of an odd location. And that harpy just wanted to make herself positioned right in the center of the camera. That was kind of adorable. But you got caught in the crossfire of destiny. Crossfire! And, okay, yeah, see, I don't really need to bother going back for sniper rifle ammunition because there's 21 bullets here. Even though you can only carry a maximum capacity of 20, which is kind of sad. I mean, 30 would have been a nice number, but 20 just doesn't feel right, man. It just doesn't feel right at all, if I have to be brutally honest about this. But now we have a way to cross over this damn wall, and we gain access to a new location, which has a bunch of super nasty enemies. Bunch of them, which I'm gonna be disposing of with the sniper rifle, because I can't be bothered to use any of my other ammunition, because we're just like sitting right next to a bunch of other sources of ammunition, i.e. bullets. Can always use more bullets. And I believe there's also gonna be an arachnoid, a big one, up on the cliff next to me, just to the left. And hang on, there's one down there as well, evidently enough, so let me just take care of that, as it is being a coward. And I do not condone the appearances of cowards in this area. And there's not really much up on this dam. There's just kind of walls of which you can stand on. I'm not even sure if I can even stand up here. Like, last I checked, I can't really remember how many secrets there are in this level. I believe there's 4 secrets in total, but I only remember coming across 3 of them, I think. God, my memory might not be so sharp, and I probably am going to miss at least one, sort of like I did with the first level of this DLC, but I'm sure someone else who has, like, complete and total knowledge of this game might be able to tell me what it is I'm missing, because I honestly don't have a clue. I'm just gonna, you know, I'm quite happy with being here right now, so I'm just gonna sit here for a bit until, like, these energy balls just get too close for comfort, in which case I might switch my positions around a little bit. You know, take care of some of these energy balls, and Yeah, there appears to be a scrapjack way out there in the distance. Yeah, it's just kind of nice just having this little vantage point all to myself right now. I don't really feel like leaving, considering the fact that I have a jetpack, and this jetpack allows me to reach new areas. I do kind of like this design, how getting this jetpack allows you to reach spots of the map which you normally wouldn't be able to access. I think that's what partially contributes to me enjoying this level immensely. But unfortunately, this jetpack will not last forever, and you'll see why that is in the near future. First of all, however, we need to focus on the present, such as this arachnoid climbing up this cliff for some odd reason, and in turn dealing a ton of damage to me where I was being totally careless. And I apologize for doing that, because I probably could have handled that situation a little bit better. But what can you do? I'm sure there's going to be plenty of more ammunition and armor around here to take care of my wounds. I don't really need ammo to take care of my wounds. I was trying to say armor, but I said ammunition instead, but I corrected myself in the end. Anyways, there are these little keypads, and these keypads don't do anything right now, so we need to go find a keycard, you guys. And we're going to do exactly just that. First, just gonna scan this area for a bit more ammunition. Also, I'm not afraid to be using any laser gun ammo because, again, they just throw so much of that at you at once. It's... You'll never, pretty much never run out of laser gun and sniper rifle ammunition in this level. I mean, true, sniper rifle ammunition a bit more often because of the harpies, but even then you could just use the assault rifle because the assault rifle is also fairly handy at taking care of these enemies. And plus, you don't really need to scope in at all because there's no ridiculous amount of spread on this gun. It just is what it is. You can fire it as straight and true as you would like, and the game won't argue with you against that. It will say, yeah, you hit that enemy exactly the way you had predicted you would. There's no accuracy fall-off with weapons like these. The only accuracy fall-off I can think of is with the pistol, which is super annoying. I don't really understand why they went with that design choice. And also the sniper rifle, like, if you fire it unscoped, then instead of dealing more damage while being scoped in, the shot is perfectly accurate once you scope in. Otherwise, you saw I tried to shoot on a green energy ball earlier, and it just missed entirely, and it was like 2 feet in front of me. That was absolutely pathetic. I don't like that very much, but I do like the fact that this game has a sniper rifle, so who am I to judge? That's a bit of a nasty enemy right there. I have 20 Devastator shells left. I think I'm gonna go ahead and use those. And it takes 4 shots with those enemies. Yep, I approve of this. I approve of having a Devastator in my hands. Also, hey look, there's a little arachnoid over there. It's dead now. It didn't really pose that much of a threat to begin with. So, you know, what can you do? What can you do? Oh, hi. Oh, right. I guess that one sort of did hit me while I was in mid-air. That makes me a little bit sad. I'll be perfectly honest about things here. You, I'll just kill with the double-barreled shotgun, because that is the weapon that is in my hands currently, and I cannot change it mid-fire. I suppose technically I could, but I choose not to. And no, unfortunately, we cannot fly over this because there is indeed an invisible wall blocking us from reaching that area. There's probably nothing behind there to begin with, because that's what developers do generally in places where you're not supposed to be, is that they just put absolutely nothing behind that wall. And yeah, I can't even read this graffiti either. I'm not really sure why I can't. I thought I would have to like look in a really specific spot to read this, but as far as I'm concerned, it's impossible currently. But once you go into this garage, you'll find that there is plenty of ammunition, and there's also a key.
I think we can find an opening for you.
Indeedy do. There's also lots of boxes, although destroying those boxes doesn't really amount to much. Nothing hidden inside them, unfortunately. Lots of laser gun ammunition, lots of electricity. So yeah, once again, we have 400 bullets, or cells, I guess I should say. Sink your teeth into victory, join Mental's horde. I kinda have to wonder if anyone actually listened to that propaganda, if anyone was foolish enough to follow a Mental's army. Nothing really exciting over here, except you noticed that there were 2 keycard little key slot things back there, little keypads is what I'm trying to say. And there's a second set of keys over here. Now we need to pick these up because these are technically secret keys. The game doesn't tell you immediately, but as far as I know, you need these other keys to reach a certain area, a certain secret, and I would love to get that secret because that should prove to be quite useful for me. But first of all, we have to take care of these reptiloids and harpies. These reptiloids are this reptiloid because so far I've only seen one. I guess it was only one in the end because I failed to see another. But there's a bunch of harpies, and we could just shoot at them with the sniper rifle because that's what we're allowed to do in this game. You can shoot at things with the sniper rifle, and nobody will object or call this game super edgy to the point where it should not be played for being too violent. Is there another harpy around here? The game's freaking out, so obviously there's probably another enemy around here somewhere, which I'm just failing to see. Oh, there they are. Right, once again, blending in with the background. So I'm just going to snipe at you all flying on my jetpack. This is what Team Fortress 2 needs. It doesn't need grappling hooks, it needs jetpacks. So that way, you could just snipe in the middle of the air while holding down the jump key. I think that would be pretty rad. I don't know why Valve hasn't hired me to design things for TF2 yet, because I think that would be pretty cool. And there's an arachnoid out there that's not really amounting to much. I think that's just about all the enemies we have to deal with over here. I'm gonna hold the laser gun out just to be safe, in case there is something that's slightly more threatening than a very standoffish arachnoid that just chooses to ignore me altogether. I suppose not, in the end. Right, so this is the door of which you need the secret keycard for, and once you open that up, you get to see this, bulldozer? Bulldozer, I think that's the word. Probably bulldozer, probably something other technical machinery term. It looks like a bulldozer, isn't it? Yeah, that's a bulldozer. Okay. I'm not stupid, you guys. I'm only slightly stupid. And yeah, there's a little bit of ammunition right here, minigun bullets, and also 4 cannonballs. Now we have 300 bullets and 4 cannonballs. Who would have thunk it? So, I'm gonna be holding on to these cannonballs for a little bit, but I will use them in the end. I'm mainly saving them for certain types of enemies, which I need to dispose of in the proper manner. Also, this graffiti is really difficult to read. Like, you have to look in a really specific spot to actually read it. Say no to space travel, and they are very negative about space travel. Anyways, you use the second key on this keypad,
And key card's connected to the red door.
and there you go. Sam had something to say about it as well. So, after running into this little sewage pipe, you fall in, and at this point, you lose the jetpack. And it's kinda sad, really, because I enjoyed having that jetpack with me, but life's not fair. Get used to it. So, we're going to have to jump into the sewer pipe and then slide our way out.
There's something for the to-do list. A jetpack that doesn't short out when it gets wet.
Exactly. The corporations have bought the curse from space. It's a conspiracy, I tell you. Okay, so now we actually get to see some green. This is another reason why I like this level. It's green. It's not the standard traditional desert color that you see over and over again. We actually get to see some greenery, and this pleases me immensely. So, we have a couple of minor battles to face in this giant corridor, so be prepared for the worst. First of all, there's this biomechanoid, which you can easily dispose of with 5 rockets. One of them actually hit a palm tree instead, so that kinda failed. Now, after you destroy that biomechanoid, there's going to be a giant legion of skeletons. And for now, I think I'm just going to go ahead and use the rocket launcher, because I don't really find many practical uses for the rocket launcher afterwards. So, if things go terribly wrong, then we can always just use, like, the minigun or the laser gun, because we have plenty of ammunition to spare for those. And plus, we're just going to get more laser gun ammunition later on. I know this because I just played the level in a test playthrough. Oh dear. Yeah, I think the main campaign of Serious Sam 3 could have benefited from having so much more laser gun and sniper rifle ammunition, as long as there were secret weapons for it. I mean, the laser gun, you could argue, it certainly had a lot of ammunition going for it, but the sniper rifle probably has a bare minimum of 19 bullets in the entire game. I could be wrong on that, but I just found there weren't very many to begin with, and it just makes the sniper rifle just hardly worth using in the main campaign. This game, however, gives you so much sniper rifle ammunition, it is just amazing. These levels, I should say, this DLC, because if I said this game, then I would be generalizing, including the entire game and the DLC levels together, and that would just be horribly inaccurate of me. So next up after the skeletons come the kamikazes, and I'll be honest, these guys are really simple to deal with. The smoke might get a little bit distracting, but easily enough, all you have to do is fire 2 bullets at one of these guys, and that tends to cause like a chain reaction of explosions, and that should be enough to deal with most of them. And plus, you have plenty of space to just run back in case the situation gets a little bit too hairy, so there really aren't many concerns against fighting these guys, I find. Yeah, I'm just gonna check behind me, see if anything's going on there. Nope, and these guys are still running towards me, screaming their headless heads off. It just makes way too much sense for me. And you next. And one more. I think that should be it. No, there's still one left. Also another biomech.
You ever wonder if there's anything more to life than running at me and screaming until you explode? No? I guess I should have known that.
That was a very clever one-liner. I'm glad that the developers decided to insert that one in mid-game regarding another giant horde of kamikazes, and Sam just knew he had to say something in regards to their appearance. So next up, after the kamikazes come a bunch of bolts, but once again, they're bolts, pretty easy to deal with. I prefer to use the Devastator in this area because once again, it only takes 2 shots to kill one of these guys. And I think I have 1 sniper rifle bullet left. There's also like 1 or 2 clear skeletons mixed in, but they're hardly a threat. So, you can just use the exact same weapon if you so desperately desire to. In fact, you know what, I'm just gonna use my final bullet on this guy, because he never really amounted to much in life. And that's quite unfortunate, because he probably had great dreams of what he could accomplish by killing Serious Sam the First, Esquire, but such is not the case. Such is not the case. That's only in an entirely different Serious Sam canon. A canon of which all different appearances of Sam were killed by every certain type of enemy. Of course, that would also be really depressing now that I think about it, so I'm going to stop thinking about it from now on, because if there were multiple universes where Sam died, that would just make me a really sad panda. Really super sad. And you know what, I'll just go ahead and use the laser gun right here, because why not? Why not at all? I ask, why not at all? I don't see these guys as being imminent threats. Well, the Rocketeers specifically. The other guys might be a little bit more debatable on that subject matter, but not these guys. Nah, not these guys. Also, I still have a bunch of C4 that I haven't even bothered to use, but we will get a chance to use that eventually. Just trust me when I say that.
Opposite sides of this thing, but I love how committed you guys are.
Indeedy do. Indeedy diddly do. And that's pretty much all there is to that, so now we reach this giant open area in which there's probably going to be a ton of enemies. And that's, yeah, you probably partially guessed right. However, there aren't too many scary things to be dealing with in this particular section. There's gonna be a bunch of clear skeletons that sort of start to flank you from all different sides of the map, but what I tend to do at the beginning is I just kind of wait for them to approach me first. First of all, I think I have to actually activate the spotting trigger, so let me just run my way out here to check and see where all the enemies are at. And now that I've garnered the attention of them, I'm gonna start running back immediately, because fighting the enemies at the exit of this giant corridor just is so much more manageable to me. And just fighting in the middle of, like, all of these ruins just isn't worth my time, honestly, because the enemies all have their newfangled pathfinding skills in which they'll try to reach you through very interesting means, and that can get slightly annoying at times. So there's gonna be a couple of bulls here, but it mostly consists of clear skeletons. I just prefer to use the minigun right here, honestly, because the minigun is super efficient at taking out clear skeletons, especially at long ranges too. like medium to long range, no sweat. The minigun will help you out, undoubtedly. And, okay, I thought I heard a skeleton right next to me, but maybe I'm just going insane. Could possibly be that there is a ghost skeleton right beside me. I choose to believe that it is indeed a ghost. And I'm not really sure. I think I saw a bolt earlier, but I don't really know where he went. Oh yeah, there's also gnomes. Right. I didn't actually intend for this to happen just yet. What I wanted to happen was I wanted to destroy the clear skeletons first before I attracted the attention of the gnomes, but it seems as though they thought otherwise. So, this is what I was saving the cannonballs for. 2 shots takes care of 1 gnome, and I'll use the other 2 cannonballs on yet another gnome. I think there's 3 more to follow after defeating that first fellow, so fret not, I do have a strategy. Just, that strategy won't be put into action until all the skeletons are taken care of first, because I'm a little bit paranoid as to being surrounded by all these guys. I just simply don't want that to happen right now. And fret not if we do run out of minigun ammunition. I still have some cells to dispatch of these evildoers, so everything's fine and good as far as I'm concerned. There's that guy in the distance, but he's not really contributing. Also that fellow, he's not contributing to much either. You are all useless and you don't contribute to anything, except maybe the occasional skeleton that manages to get the pounce on me, or hits me with one of those ball and chain projectiles. Possibly that, but otherwise, I am not concerned of you guys, except when you get dangerously close to me. I have 1 minigun bullet left, let's use it on the ball! That was exciting! Ow, okay, now I'm actually starting to get hit, so some of these skeletons are contributors to society. I've decided. I've made my decision, I've made my point clear. Some of them knew how to deal with Serious Sam the first. But, again, I don't really think it was much, so I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to continue being really judgmental on these guys. And of course, once I say that, I get hit. But it's okay, because there's probably still plenty of armor that I can pick up right around here. Also, health, and Devastator shells, how nice. I can tell that there's a skeleton right behind me right now, because, yeah, hi. That honestly did not surprise me at all. There's a bunch of skeletons here that really took their sweet time in actually reaching me. Oh, yeah, guys, step it up a little bit. I have to finish off this video, because my voice is starting to run dry, but thankfully we are coming close to the end of the level. You might be pleased to hear. So, we're gonna go ahead and just look for any spare power-ups. Probably gonna go ahead and use this Devastator to my advantage, because I think there are a couple of scrapjacks out here in the back. Also, these are just shotgun shells. Oh, okay. Just had to confirm, yeah, there's a couple of scrappy-dappy-doos back here. And a few more remaining skeletons that just failed to run forward and attack me earlier. There was one behind me, as per usual. You can't have a Serious Sam game without there being a skeleton just behind you. You know, it happens. Okay. Yeah, this is manageable. This is manageable. I was a little bit scared, but I'm no longer scared anymore. I figured out where the enemies are coming from. That's the second gnome. Right, let's just go ahead and deal with this guy first, so we don't have to worry about him later. As for the final 2 gnomes, I'll go ahead and kill them using C4, so you'll get to see some of that. You'll get to see some one-on-one C4 action. And also a little bit of the assault rifle. I haven't really used the shotgun either. I should probably take care of the remaining couple of these skeletons using the old double barrel, because I like double-barreled shotguns in video games.
Something. You're just skin and bone. Actually, you're just bones.
Very clever, Sam. Very clever. And I think there's probably at least one more. Like I said, I'm pretty sure there's at least 2 more gnomes left. There's this guy, first of all. And I remember during my last playthrough, there was like one just sort of wandering around the temple area, because I think he just missed me entirely. But first of all, taking care of this guy's not really. That was kind of silly. He's not really that threatening. He just kind of falls over after you throw 3 slabs of C4 onto him, because the first one will stun him, the second one will also stun him, and the third one will kill him inevitably if you place it correctly. Anyways, there is a point to running back here because this armor is actually a mini secret. Picking it up does not trigger the secret itself, but actually discovering it inside that bush is what counts it as a secret. And that's the only other secret I know of this level. There's the keycard one, and there's that one. Like I said, I'm pretty sure there's 4 secrets in this level, although I could be mistaken because I'm just going off of an assumption. And I just picked up a key right there if you're wondering what exactly occurred. And yeah, there's a third gnome. As I said, he was just kind of caught wandering around the temple area, so that doesn't really surprise me. I'm doing this thing properly. Let me, like, not run so far away from you so that way you do your little sidestepping animation and attack. And there you go. Those are pretty much all the normal enemies of this level defeated. Probably not 100%. I'm sure there's a few spawning triggers here and there that I might have missed, but hey, nobody's perfect, man. You just gotta get used to that fact. Nobody's perfect, man. Nobody's perfect. And we can use that keycard to open this door. And there's one more slab of Egyptian text as well that you can go ahead and read as soon as I turn the corner right here, and look at this. Because after the following cutscene, we won't be able to get back in here, for very valid reasons.
Hey, Quinn, I think this is it.
The tomb of Sether Kopchev?
I bet you can't say that 5 times fast.
Just get in there and activate the time lock. Please.
Geez, you'd think the world was ending. Well, looks like something's happening. Just not around here.
That's it. The time lock is online. Sam, this is huge.
Well, I've been working out. Oh, this is huge. Oh, sure, yeah, this.
Mental's forces are peeling off to head over there. Head outside for extraction. We'll have a chopper into you shortly.
Why don't I go ahead and pretend that I believe you?
Right, so as I said, we cannot get back in here for, like, no apparent reason. I'm not really sure why the keycard just simply doesn't work, but, maybe he just threw it behind him and then closed the door. That's what I'm going to assume. Anyway, I'm just going to make a little quick save right here, and if I die, then I will see you when I get back, because there's a boss as soon as we step up here. So, I will see you guys when we fight the boss. And let us begin.
Oh, Mama's little man is all grown up.
Right, so this is a giant scrapjack, and he works basically the way you would expect him to. So he has this giant cannon on his arm, which he will fire at you from a distance, and in his other hand, he wields the mighty hammer of Thor. So the way you have to defeat this boss, like you saw for a brief second, there was a little indication of where I could slap a piece of C4 onto his body. Basically, that's how you drain the main part of his health. Otherwise, if you just use your other weapons, while it is possible, he takes bullets. Like, he soaks up so much damage, it's ridiculous. And you could probably argue that if I'd saved some cannonballs, I bet I could probably chip off a lot of his health that way. But the truth of the matter is, I really wanted to defeat the gnomes with that instead. So, it's probably more advisable you not look at this guy very often, and you start to run away after you place the C4. Like, you want to start sprinting away immediately, because otherwise, you'll get caught into the giant... what's the impact of his hammer hitting the ground? And that hammer does a lot of damage. So, you don't want to get too close to that, otherwise, that might prove to be problematic. Once again, he has a giant cannon on his arm, so if you let him shoot you with that cannon, as far as I know, it's pretty much an insta-kill. You don't want that to happen at all. So, avoid getting close to this guy at all costs. I think it takes about maybe 10 slabs of C4 before this guy will die. I accidentally missed the first one, as you can no doubt tell, so we'll try to avoid that in the near future. But for now, we're just gonna focus on throwing more C4 onto his giant belly. In case you couldn't tell, there's also a few kamikazes running about right now, but sometimes they'll die by the impact of that guy's hammer hitting the ground, because it does that much damage, and of course, like, kamikazes only have 2 hit points to begin with, so it's fairly simple to just have them die, and then you don't really have to worry about them yourselves. Maybe at a fight distance like that, you could argue that it would be better to kill off some of the enemies, but I choose not to most of the time. And for some reason, the C4 looks a lot bigger whenever you throw it on the giant scrapjack. I'm not really sure why that is. Also, yeah, this boss, he pretty much is just referred to as Giant Scrapjack. There's, like, no official name for it. He's huge. He's a big, crashy, explodey dude who has a very crashy, exploding cannon. So, you don't want to get hit by that. Or the hammer, notably. So, you know, he's just got a little bit of health left. You could probably just go ahead and kill him with just about any weapon at this point, because, as you can see, while it doesn't really do much damage, it can kill him. It can conceivably kill him. It takes a while, man. It takes a while. And I didn't really mean to run into those kamikazes right there, so I'm just gonna go ahead and really take my time right here, you know. Pick up this laser gun ammunition, because laser gun, you don't get much of a chance to use that, so. This is the end of the boss. I hope you enjoyed it. He's pretty simple to understand in the end, and yeah.
I'll give you one thing, Stone. You're a goddamn survivor.
Aw, shucks. It's the end of the world. I would miss it for
And that's it. That was... Yo, this is just the credits, so I'm gonna go ahead and skip that. That was Series 3, Jewel of the Nile DLC. The final boss, pretty self-explanatory, very simple to understand, and honestly, you don't really die to him that often. And if I'm honest, I kind of prefer that boss over the final one in the main campaign if I had to choose, but... You know what, whatever. It was a boss, I'm glad they could at least throw one in the end. And I do enjoy this DLC a lot. Like, it has some of my favorite levels in the entire game of Series 3. So I would highly recommend that you check this DLC out if you haven't yet, because it is pretty grand. And hopefully it will tide you over before Series 4 arrives in the market, or you could play the Talos Principle if you're interested in puzzle games, because that was the latest Crow Team game that was released, and I heard it was really good. So, yeah, that's going to end off my little advertisement, and this is going to be the end of the Jewel of the Nile DLC levels, videos, stuff. Yeah. So, thank you guys very much for watching, have a great day or evening, and I guess I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.